Hello, beautiful people! So today is a cold but sunny Saturday. It's a perfect time to do something cozy. And fun indoors, which means it's a good time to try out the 2021 Taiwanese college entrance exam, also known as 学测. Took place on January 22nd and 23rd. And I took the very same test some years ago. I was lucky enough to score 15, the full score for my English test. Some years later, here I am. and I thought it could be fun. I don't know, see whether I still got it, I don't know. Hopefully this video also gives some of my American friends here or anyone who's watching who's not from Taiwan a little peek into what life in Taiwan as a student is like and what level of English language proficiency that the Taiwanese educational system expects one who wants to enter university to have. And for all the high schoolers in Taiwan, you know this time of the year is the time when anyone in your family or even your neighbors feel like they have the right to tell you how to live your life. It's stressful sometimes, I know. Okay, anyway, let's just start the test and get this done with, and then I'll chat more about, the rules or something. I'm gonna write my answers on this notebook. I'm gonna time myself, and then I will come back and check my answers and see how this goes. It's gonna be fun. I'm excited. Oh my god, I will just shut up. I finished! Okay, so I finished the multiple choice sections in 25 minutes, 3 seconds, 22. Then I went on to do the writing section. That made my total time spent for this test to 33 minutes, 9 seconds. So a little bit about this standardized university entrance exam test in Taiwan is that there are 5 subjects. There is English, Math, Chinese, Social Studies, and Science. And the full score for each subject is 15. So if you get the full score, whether you made no mistakes or you made some mistake but it's still within the range to get the full score, you get 15. For English and Math, you are given 100 minutes to write, respectively. So now I'm just gonna check my answers, but before that, it is snack time! This is a really good donut. Alright, so I've just finished checking my answers, and then, drum rolls please! I should stop this. Is anyone excited? No one is excited, so let's just get this over with. So I did get all of the multiple choices sections right. For the writing sections, there is no one really to grade me for any sense, even though I used to grade some of these essays myself working for an English teaching facility, so I shall grade myself. Let me just read to you what I wrote for the writing section. So the first of the writing section is translation. So there are these 2 Chinese sentences that you translate into English, and then there's a little short essay which asks you to write content based on the image that you see over here. So for the translation part, Number 1, I wrote, according to news reports, over 1 million people lost their lives to traffic accidents globally. And for number 2, I wrote, therefore, traffic-related regulations need to be executed strictly to ensure everyone's safety. The essay writing section, it needs to be at least 120 words. And honestly, I forgot what is the maximum limit. So I wrote like this. My handwriting is terrible, so be warned. So probably it's around 200 words maybe. I don't know whether that's exceeding the limit, but anyway. So it asks us to write 2 sections. So the first section asks you to describe what you see in this image. And then the second section is to write from the perspective of either a visitor or the owner of this field. I chose to write as a visitor, as a fellow traveler. So for section 1, describing what you see in an image, I wrote, this image is set in, what? I can't read my ugly handwriting. Okay. This image is set somewhere outdoors in a field with flowers. The flowers are in full bloom and several visitors are out on the field enjoying this scene of nature. In the foreground, there is a sign saying that visitors are allowed to take photos and enjoy the flowers from afar, but not stepping onto the flower field. And for my section 2, I wrote, I am writing this journal as I sit at a tree across from this beautiful flower field, seeing people ignoring the sign and trampling on the flowers. I have mixed feelings. As a fellow traveler, I'm also so captured by the flowers in full bloom. and I understand the urge to see such beauty up close. Yet, the sign, likely set up by the owner or the farmer who planted these beautiful flowers, states that people should not enter. I would hate to see such beauty being destroyed by people. Therefore, I will put down my pen here and I'll go up front to try to talk to some visitors who would listen. That's the end. Yeah. I don't know whether this is good. So I didn't know anything about what the test would look like. I think I feel really intrigued because the first question is, Tom is a really naughty boy. So the topics here in the English test include an American park ranger who was struck by lightning multiple times and apparently he survived, the usage of the wonderful prickly pear cactus in Mexico, and then a brief history of the travel document, and also something about Benjamin Franklin and his musical inventions, and this ultra-accessible Morgan's Wonderland in Texas. Perhaps my personal favorite is the passage about birth control for pigeons in Barcelona, Spain. I highly encourage whether you're from the States or from anywhere else to take this Taiwanese test and let me know how you do. I know, it could be fun. I feel really lucky that I've met so many wonderful people and wonderful teachers during my high school years. Yeah, I'm really not being dramatic here. Some of those people, they really changed my life for the better. And actually, my friends from my freshman year in high school, they're actually having a gathering soon in Taiwan, so that's really nice. And then in my sophomore and junior, which is like the second and third year in high school, I was in this class led by this wonderful English teacher. She was so nice, and I still remember during these very, very stressful college/university entrance exam preparation stages, everyone was very stressed out. Basically, if you want to enter, I don't know, it could be a cultural thing. When I was in high school, these big exams are the thing. And if you're a high school student from Taiwan watching this video, give yourself a pat on the back. You made it! You made it! Yay! Yeah, this year with the pandemic, things became even more stressful. So yeah, you should be proud of yourself for, having gone through this, having finished this, and whatever the results are does not represent who you are, what you can do, or what you should do with your life. If I could give any advice to my high school self, is probably something similar. Just, I wasn't really happy with my results, but I wasn't disappointed. The total score that I got gave me a certain level of choice that I could make, and I already knew that I want to go to an English department in like the top rank universities in Taiwan for English. So for university, I went to Furen Catholic University's English department, and for those who are watching and you're from that department and you met me there, just make some noise! Woo! I love that 4 years spent at Furen's English department. I met so many amazing people that, again, really, really changed my life. They are just a bunch of really amazing people that they have so much to give to the world, and they are just really genuinely kind and creative people. And the professors that I've met there, especially some of them whom I'm still in very close touch with, without those professors and without my friends that I've met during my high school and university years, I probably, I wouldn't be here. So I'm eternally grateful. High school is a really interesting experience if you are from Taiwan. I know that for Americans, high schoolers, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I understood is that unless you go to private schools, you don't really wear uniforms to school. But in Taiwan, all of the high schools, they require us to wear uniforms. So it's kind of interesting because people could tell just from your uniform, which school you go to. The top high schools, top ranking high schools in Taiwan, there are mostly either a boys' school or a girls' school, and 师大附中 is co-ed, is mixed. So the high school that I went to is co-ed. I don't know, I'm thinking that I think gender is not binary, gender is a spectrum. So when I say boys and girls, it's just a very, very general, very quick sense, but it doesn't embody how I think about gender. One recent thing in Taiwan is that the government is pushing this bilingual policy, hoping to make Taiwan into a bilingual nation. Bilingual meaning Chinese, our mother tongue, and then English. So English and Chinese, bilingual nation by the year, I forgot, 2030. I don't know, mixed feelings. What I could think of is, well, long story very short, personally, I don't think that is a really good idea because I think not everyone needs to have this high command of this foreign language that has very little to do with Taiwan's history, with our society, with, you know, being in East Asia, and have very little to do with anything related to either English or American language and our history and upbringing and culture. It's just something I think it's a little bit too far. On the other hand, there are so many local languages like Taiwanese and all of those beautiful indigenous languages that we have in Taiwan. They are dying out. And by introducing this I think it's kind of a colonial idea of a policy, like every kid needs to learn English and have to have a very high command of this foreign language. I think it's gonna further endanger these local languages that that are disappearing in Taiwan. Yeah, so long story short, I'm not feeling so positive about this policy, even though, yes, I do see where the administration is coming from. I'm speaking English right here, and English being the international language in the world, of course, there is and there might be further benefits and advantages if, you know, your younger generation, they all speak this quote-unquote international language. So I can see where they're coming from, but I think, I don't know, this is a very complex issue. And again, like what I said in the first episode of To All the Projects I've done before, go watch it if you haven't, there are many contexts, many layers to look into this. So I don't want to twist a knife in anybody's wound, because I know that when I was in high school, and if you're a high schooler, these tests were, like I said, was such a pain. I've been there, and you know, it was very stressful, but like many people said, high school is probably the era that you feel like you know much about the world, you know, because like you know something about languages, something about your mother tongue, about math, about science, about chemistry. I kind of miss those times because high school in Taiwan was a time that life is kind of simple because there is really not too much to worry about, you know, just school and your club and making friends and then figuring out who you are and try to have fun and, you know, sneak like rebel against your parents if they're being a total pain. Taking this test has definitely got me a little bit nostalgic, and if any high schoolers from Taiwan are watching this, hope this video gives you some kind of entertainment. I don't know. You're very welcome to subscribe if you feel like, wow, whatever this girl is doing, it seems like fun. And if you are a high schooler and you took this test recently, or if you're in your first or second year in high school in Taiwan and this test is crawling upon you, you're gonna be fine, and you're gonna end up somewhere that you're meant to be. If you feel like hanging out here more, feel free to subscribe and follow me on Instagram. Hope you're doing well wherever you are. Stay safe, and I'll see you again in my next videos. Bye! Anyone in your family or your neighbors or anyone that you meet around what? That just get this done. Not everyone has to fit in a certain path just because most people are doing it. This is getting too philosophical, so let's just get back to the test part. And what level of English language proficiency? What? Let's get down to business and to feast.